We renovated this house in 4 months. We started by removing the popcorn ceilings in a few of the rooms. Yes, we tested for asbestos. I don't want to hear it. Then we ripped out this hardwood flooring. It was the only room with it, and it was not original to the house, and we wanted all the rooms to have the same flooring. So we ripped that out, 1,000 staples, and then I just started painting everything with a fresh coat of white paint. The goal was to get one bedroom ready for my husband, daughter, and I to live out of while we renovated the rest of the house. So after we got everything painted, we started to lay these engineered hardwood floors. In this room, we just stapled and added a water barrier, but in the rest of the house, we ended up gluing and stapling. Just helped with some creaking. Then we removed this wall. It was not load bearing. We did check on that, and it just helped open up the kitchen. The kitchen was not a great use of space at the time, so with this wall removed, we are able to add a little peninsula for some extra storage. Then just cleaned it up and got it ready to patch. Now, most of the woodwork was replaced, so I ended up just painting it all so that it would all look the same. This paint gun is seriously a lifesaver. And then I freaking spilled Sherwin-Williams expensive ass paint. That'll ruin your day. The weird thing about this house is there is no subfloor. These hardwood floors were the subfloor, and unfortunately they were in really rough shape, so we could not keep them. I shed a few tears, and then we moved on to laying more of the flooring. Laying hardwoods is no joke. It is a tedious task. We removed this part of the wall so that we could actually inset the fridge into it, pretty much like a little cubby, so that it wouldn't be sticking out into the middle of the room anymore. And we had a stackable washer and dryer anyway, so we didn't really need the space in the laundry room. Max almost made this cubby too small for the fridge though, and we barely squeezed it in. I spent like 19 days, it felt like, patching the ceilings and the walls, trying to get it to look as good as possible. And then finally we removed the rest of the kitchen. We waited as long as possible so that we could still use that sink. Then I moved on to painting my daughter's room. This room was a cluster of different trim colors, so I ended up just painting it all this gold color. I know some of you are thinking, what the hell? But I promise you it looked good. Once I got everything painted, we finished the flooring into the kitchen and this last bedroom. We were so close to done with the flooring. And finally, it was time to put our kitchen together. For the last 2.5 months, we did not have a kitchen pretty much at all. We had been grilling lots of hot dogs and hamburgers. Honestly, super exhausting to not have a functioning kitchen, so we were very excited to put this together. We ended up doing MDF countertops, and then I epoxied them to look like a faux marble. I had always wanted to try to do an epoxy countertop, and we could save a lot of money instead of doing a quartz. And I'm not a huge fan of laminate, so I wanted to see if I could make this look good and save some money. And to be honest, it was super tedious. Some parts were fun, like the painting, because I was able to make mistakes and just keep fixing them. The epoxy was super stressful. There are tons of bubbles you have to pop, and this was my first time ever doing epoxy, and it was such a large scale. I kind of felt like I had gotten myself in over my head. And after I shed some tears, I did a top coat, and they ended up looking really good. We also added new, thicker trim to try to look like the original trim that had been replaced. I laid just a vinyl flooring in the laundry room. It's cheap and it's easy, and believe it or not, it can look really good too. Then I painted and added some fun wallpaper in here, and then we added a peg rail for some coats and hats and stuff. This house is super small, so there's not a ton of storage. Then we started to backsplash the kitchen. We used this muscle-bound tile adhesive. This is my first time using it, and after a little bit of a learning curve, I actually really liked it. It's a lot quicker and easier than using thin set. You just have to make sure that the tiles are dry, and then use the spacers that they actually give you with it. It's a lot easier than regular spacers. And then we started to grout. I used a combination of two colors, Tech Silhouette and Tech Charcoal Gray, to give us just about the same color as our trim. We planned on staying here for 2 years, but life had different plans for us, and we ended up buying our dream house shortly after we bought this one. So we sold it.